The rain-slicked streets of Brooklyn gleamed under the sodium lamps like shattered promises, and Alex Harper stood there, heart pounding, watching Jordan Reyes walk away for what he swore would be the last time. But Jordan paused at the corner, umbrella forgotten in his grip, and turned back with eyes that held a storm fiercer than the downpour. Eyes that said he wasn't done fighting, not for the play, not for the friendship they'd built on late-night script revisions and stolen coffees, and certainly not for the unspoken pull that had been unraveling them both. In that frozen moment, Alex realized the truth he'd been dodging. Jordan didn't just direct his scenes. He was directing his soul, and the curtain was about to rise on a finale neither of them could rewrite. Alex wiped the rain from his face, the cold seeping through his thin jacket like doubt through his resolve. It was October in New York, the kind of autumn where the leaves clung desperately to branches before surrendering to the wind, mirroring the fragile grip he had on this collaboration. Jordan had stormed out of the cramped Bushwick loft they'd been using as a rehearsal space, his voice echoing off the exposed brick walls. "This isn't art, Alex. It's therapy disguised as dialogue. If you won't fix the ending, I'm out." The words stung because they were half true. Alex's play, Echoes in the Attic, was his rawest yet, a queer coming-of-age tale about a young man named Eli who uncovers his family's hidden prejudices while falling for his best friend, only to face a betrayal that shatters everything. It was fiction, sure, but the bones were his. The conservative parents back in Ohio who'd prayed away his confusion, the high school crush that ended in a fistfight, the endless therapy sessions where he'd learned to name the ache as loneliness rather than sin. Jordan, with his sharp jaw and sharper tongue, had been the one to pull Alex from obscurity. A rising director in the off-Broadway scene, Jordan had spotted Alex's one act at a queer theater festival in the Village 6 months ago, a gritty monologue about a drag queen's last performance before transitioning. "You've got fire," Jordan had said afterward, sliding into the booth at the after-party dive bar, his dark eyes locking onto Alex's like spotlights. "But fire without direction burns out. Let me help you build something real." What started as professional curiosity bloomed into late evenings at Jordan's cramped apartment in Williamsburg, where scripts piled up like autumn leaves and takeout containers marked the hours. Jordan believed in Alex's voice when Alex didn't, in the way Eli's quiet rebellions mirrored Alex's own unspoken yearnings. But belief came with expectations, and Jordan's were as unyielding as the steel girders of the Brooklyn Bridge they jogged across on restless mornings. Tonight's blow-up had been brewing for weeks. Rehearsals with the cast, a mix of wide-eyed theater kids and seasoned queer performers, had exposed the play's fractures. The actress playing Eli's sister, a non-binary firebrand named Riley, kept pushing for more confrontation in the family scenes. "Make it hurt more," they'd say, their voice a low rumble of conviction. "Audiences need to feel the knife twist." Alex nodded, but inside he balked. He'd written Eli's parents as flawed but redeemable, their homophobia born of fear rather than malice, because that's how it felt in his memories. Messy, human, not cartoonish villains. Jordan disagreed vehemently. Redemption without cost is cheap, he'd argue, pacing the loft with a cigarette unlit between his fingers, a habit from his chain-smoking days in film school. "Your Eli deserves better than pity. He deserves rage." As Alex trudged back inside, the door creaking like a sigh, he found Riley slouched on the sagging couch, scrolling through their phone with feigned nonchalance. "He'll cool off," Riley said without looking up, their shaved head catching the dim light from the single bulb overhead. "Jordan's like a hurricane, loud entry, dramatic exit, but he always circles back." Alex forced a laugh, but it came out hollow. Riley was the closest thing he had to a confidant in this whirlwind. They'd met 2 years ago at a Pride after-party in Chelsea, bonding over bad karaoke and worse exes. Riley's transition had been a public spectacle, documentaries, TED Talks, but they wore their scars like armor, whereas Alex still hid his under hoodies and half-smiles. He sank beside them, the couch springs protesting. "What if he doesn't? This play's all I've got." It wasn't hyperbole. At 27, Alex had scraped by on barista shifts and sporadic gigs, his MFA from NYU gathering dust like an unproduced script. Jordan's involvement was a lifeline, whispered about in theater circles as the next big queer voice. But lately, the lines blurred. Jordan's critiques felt personal, his encouragements too intimate. The brush of fingers over a revised page, the lingering gaze during read-throughs. Alex told himself it was projection, that Jordan, with his string of casual hookups and zero interest in labels, saw him as a project, not a partner. Yet in quiet moments, like when Jordan hummed off-key to old show tunes while editing blocking notes, Alex's chest tightened with something perilously close to hope. Riley set their phone down, turning with that piercing stare that missed nothing. Then you rewrite without him. But we both know that's not what scares you. They paused, choosing words like lines in a monologue. Jordan sees you, Alex. Not the scared kid from Ohio. Not the guy dodging commitment like it's a plot hole. He sees the writer who could change the game. Question is, do you see it too? Alex swallowed, the rain pattering against the window like impatient applause. He wanted to believe Riley, but trust was a luxury he'd learned to ration. His last relationship, with a painter named Theo back in grad school, had imploded when Theo came out to his devout family, and they chose silence over support, blaming Alex for influencing him. The fallout left Alex with a bruised heart and a vow. No more believers in him. By midnight, his phone buzzed. A text from Jordan, "Meet me at the bridge. 1 a.m. Bring the rewrite." Alex's pulse quickened. The Brooklyn Bridge at that hour was a ghost town, its cables strung like harp strings against the city lights. He grabbed his notebook, the pages dog-eared and ink-stained, and stepped back into the night. The walk cleared his head, the damp air carrying hints of pretzels from street vendors long gone. As he approached the pedestrian path, Jordan was there, silhouetted against the East River, hands shoved in his coat pockets, looking less like a director and more like a man adrift. "You came," Jordan said, voice rough from the cold or the shouting. Alex couldn't tell. He held out a thermos. "Coffee. Black, like your soul." The joke fell flat, but it broke the ice. They leaned against the railing, the water below churning dark and restless. Jordan didn't push for the script. Instead, he talked, really talked, for the first time without the armor of professionalism. About growing up in the Bronx, son of Mexican immigrants who worked double shifts at a bodega. How coming out at 16 meant choosing between family dinners and furtive park benches. "They didn't hate me," he said, staring at the Manhattan skyline. "They just didn't know how to love all of me. So I stopped asking." Alex listened, the words weaving into his own silences, filling gaps he hadn't named. Hours passed in that suspended space, scripts forgotten on the bench. Jordan's vulnerability cracked something in Alex, a fissure where light slipped through. When dawn crept in, painting the bridge in pinks and golds, Jordan turned to him. "Fix the play, Alex. Not for me, for Eli. For you." His hand grazed Alex's arm, brief as a cue light, but it lingered in the air between them. As they parted, Alex felt the weight of it. Jordan believed in him, fiercely, without reservation. And in a city built on reinvention, that belief felt like the scariest script twist of all. The first rehearsal after the bridge was electric, the loft humming with fresh energy. The cast arrived early, buzzing about a Times review of Jordan's last production, a queer retelling of Hamlet that had critics raving about its unflinching intimacy. Alex had revised the family confrontation scene overnight, sharpening Eli's rage without losing the nuance of regret. Riley read the new lines first, their voice dropping low for the sister's plea. "We're not the enemy, Eli. We're just scared. But fear doesn't get to win." The room fell silent, then erupted in nods and murmurs. Jordan, perched on a stool in the corner, met Alex's eyes across the space. Pride flickered there, unguarded, and Alex's stomach flipped like a stage trapdoor. But harmony was fleeting in the theater world, where egos clashed like cymbals. Midway through blocking the betrayal scene, Eli discovering his lover's secret emails to a conservative ex, tension simmered. The actor playing the lover, a lanky bisexual named Marcus with a flair for melodrama, overplayed the guilt, turning subtle remorse into soap opera sobs. Less tears, more teeth. Jordan snapped from the sidelines, his patience fraying. Marcus bristled, tossing his script. "Easy for you to say. You're not the one twisting yourself into knots for authenticity." The jab landed. Jordan's directing style was infamous for demanding vulnerability, drawing from his own well of guarded pain. Alex stepped in, mediating with a calm he didn't feel. It's raw for a reason. Let's run it again. Feel the undercurrent. Offstage, Marcus cornered Alex during break. Your boy's intense, he said, lighting a vape with a theatrical flourish. He push you like that? Alex shrugged, but the question burrowed. Jordan did push, gently at first, then with the force of conviction. It thrilled and terrified in equal measure. That evening, after rap, Jordan invited him to a cast dinner at a dimly lit Italian spot in Carroll Gardens, all checkered tablecloths and candlelight. The group expanded the play's world. There was Lena, the lighting designer and Jordan's ex from film school, her laugh a cascade that masked old wounds. Theo, surprisingly, the painter from Alex's past, now designing sets after relocating to Brooklyn for a fresh start. Fate's cruel humor, Alex thought, spotting Theo's familiar curls across the table. The wine flowed, loosening tongues. Stories spilled, Riley recounting their first Pride March, fists raised against counter-protesters. Lena teasing Jordan about his celibate director face. Alex laughed along, but Theo's presence gnawed at him, the ghost of what-ifs, of a love derailed by prejudice. When Theo leaned over, clinking glasses, his whisper cut through the din. Heard you're killing it. Jordan's got you shining. The compliment twisted like a knife. Theo knew Alex's insecurities, had once whispered them back to him in the dark. Jordan noticed, his brow furrowing as he watched from across the table, fork paused midair. By dessert, the group had devolved into a tipsy debate on queer representation, essentialist versus universal, pain as plot device or poison. Jordan dominated, his voice rising with passion. We can't sanitize it. The slurs, the silences, they're our inheritance. Write them out, and we erase ourselves. Alex countered softly. But erasure starts when we only show the scars. What about joy? The quiet wins. The table quieted, eyes darting between them like ping-pong. Riley broke the tension with a toast. To messy truths and Messier loves. Glasses raised, but Jordan's gaze lingered on Alex, charged with something unspoken. Admiration, challenge, hunger? Walking home through the leaf-strewn streets, Jordan fell into step beside him. You held your own tonight, he said, breath visible in the chill. Proud of you. The words warmed Alex more than his coat. They paused at a crosswalk, city lights reflecting in puddles like scattered stars. Jordan's hand brushed his again, accidental, intentional, and Alex's breath caught. Jordan, but the light changed, and the moment fractured. Back at his apartment, Alex lay awake, replaying the evening. Theo's reappearance was a wild card, stirring doubts. Was Jordan's intensity a pattern, a director molding his muses? Or was it real, this belief that saw past Alex's fractures to the fire beneath? Weeks blurred into a rhythm of revisions and runs. The play solidified, Eli's arc gaining depth, a journey from tentative kisses in hidden alleys to a defiant coming out at a family wedding, only for the high to crash when his lover's prejudice mirrors the parents'. Casting callbacks brought fresh faces, a trans actor for Eli's ally, bringing lived authenticity to the role. Jordan thrived in the chaos, his energy infectious, but Alex caught glimpses of strain, late-night calls from his mother in the Bronx, pleas for visits that ended in static. Family's family, Jordan would mutter, rubbing his temples. Even when they choke you. One crisp November afternoon, during a tech run at the Black Box Theater in the East Village, disaster struck. Lena, ever the perfectionist, overloaded a gel filter, sparking a small electrical fire in the rig. Smoke billowed, alarms wailed, and the cast evacuated in a coughing haze. Outside, amid the sirens, Jordan pulled Alex aside behind a dumpster, his face ashen. This is cursed, he joked weakly, but his eyes betrayed fear, not of flames, but failure. Alex gripped his shoulder. Hey, we've got this. Like the bridge. Jordan leaned in, forehead to Alex's, the contact electric. What would I do without you? The question hung, vulnerable, and Alex's heart raced. For a beat, the world narrowed to that touch, the distant wail fading. But reality intruded. Theo, hauling props from the alley, froze at the sight. His expression shifted, hurt, then resolve. Later, at the emergency rap meeting in a nearby coffee shop, Theo pulled Alex aside. Be careful, he warned, voice low. Jordan collects talents like trophies. I saw it with Lena. With me, back when we overlapped in school. Alex recoiled. That's not. But Theo pressed on. He believes in you now. Question is, what happens when the show's over? When you're not his golden boy anymore? The seed planted, doubt sprouted overnight. Rehearsals resumed with a vengeance, Jordan doubling down on precision. He and Alex clashed over the climax. Eli's lover confesses his internalized homophobia, begging forgiveness. Too soft, Jordan insisted during a heated notes session, the cast dismissed early. He needs to own the damage. Alex stood firm. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's power. Eli chooses it, despite the pain. Their voices rose, echoing in the empty house. Jordan stepped closer, frustration etching lines around his mouth. You're protecting him, or yourself. From what, Alex? From feeling it all. The accusation hit like a slap. Alex stormed out, the cold slapping his face anew. That night, alone in his walk-up, Alex pored over old journals, Theo's words looping like a bad cue. Was this belief a cage? He texted Riley, need backup. Doubts creeping. Their reply was swift, coffee tomorrow. But trust your gut. He's scared too. Morning brought clarity, or at least resolve. At the loft, Alex found Jordan nursing a hangover, scripts scattered like confetti. I'm sorry, Jordan started, but Alex cut him off. No, let's talk real. Not the play, the us. The air thickened. Jordan's eyes widened, then softened. Us. He laughed, bitter. Alex, I don't do us. Love's a lie we tell to survive the night. But you make me want to believe anyway. The confession cracked the dam. They talked for hours, fears, failures, the ghosts of lovers past. Jordan admitted his cynicism stemmed from a college affair that ended in outing and ostracism, leaving him armored against attachment. Alex shared his Ohio scars, the prayers that felt like curses. By evening, the space between them had shrunk, hands linking tentatively over cooling coffee mugs. It wasn't a kiss, not yet, just a bridge rebuilt, plank by plank. But drama, like theater, loves an intermission twist. 2 days later, during dress rehearsal, Marcus, the lover's actor, unveiled a surprise ad-lib, a line implying Eli's family had doxed the lover online, escalating the betrayal to cyberbullying. The house gasped. Jordan halted the scene, face thunderous. What the hell, Marcus? That's not in the script. Marcus shrugged defiantly. Felt right. Real life doesn't queue up neatly. Backstage, accusations flew. Alex defended the change at first, edgy, timely, but Jordan saw sabotage. This is about control, he hissed to Alex later. Someone's undermining us. Paranoia seeped in, eyes darting to Theo, to Lena, even Riley. The real bomb dropped via email. An anonymous tip to the production's funder, a progressive arts foundation, alleging the play glorified toxic reconciliation and risked harmful stereotypes. Rehearsals halted as Jordan fielded calls, his voice strained. Alex paced the green room, guilt gnawing. Had his nuance invited this? That night, at Jordan's apartment for an emergency rewrite, the tension boiled over. It's Theo, Jordan accused, slamming his laptop. He resents us, resents you moving on. Alex recoiled. That's unfair. He's not. But Jordan's eyes flashed. Then who? Me? For believing in you too much. The fight escalated, words as weapons. Jordan calling Alex naive. Alex labeling Jordan paranoid. Doors slammed, silences stretched. In the fallout, Alex turned to Riley, meeting at their favorite pier in Red Hook, the harbor lights dancing on waves. It's falling apart, he confessed, voice breaking. Riley hugged him fiercely. No, it's peaking. Theater's like life, mess before magic. Their wisdom steadied him, but the wound festered. Days passed in radio silence from Jordan. Alex threw himself into polishing the script alone, Eli's final monologue sharpening into a blade. I choose you, not despite the breaks, but because of them. Love isn't belief. It's the leap when doubt screams no. Opening night loomed, tickets selling out on queer word of mouth. Backstage, buzz masked the rift. Cast members whispered, loyalty divided. Alex arrived early, makeup pale under the fluorescence. Then Jordan appeared, disheveled, eyes red-rimmed. I was wrong, he said simply, script in hand. Your ending, it's perfect. Because it's yours. Relief flooded Alex. but wariness lingered. And us. Jordan hesitated, then, let's leap. Together. Their hands clasped, a quiet vow amid the chaos. The curtain rose to a packed house, the air electric with anticipation. Eli's world unfolded. Kisses stolen in Central Park shadows, family dinners laced with veiled barbs, the slow burn of forbidden desire. Midway, the betrayal hit, the lover's confession, raw and unsparing. Gasps rippled, tears gleamed in the footlights. But the climax, Eli's choice, silenced the room. You broke me, Eli declared, voice steady. But I rebuild on my terms. With or without you. Applause thundered as the lights faded, encores demanded. Post-show, the lobby swarmed with admirers, critics, activists, everyday queers who'd found mirrors in the words. Jordan pulled Alex into a wing's alcove, the roar muffled. You did it, he whispered, pride blooming. Their kiss came then, tentative, then fierce, a release of held breaths. But as confetti fell, a figure approached, the anonymous emailer, revealed as Marcus, driven by bitterness over a cut line. I thought it needed edge, he mumbled, head bowed. Forgiveness wasn't instant. Boundaries were set. Yet in the mess, clarity emerged. Months later, echoes transferred uptown, awards piling up. Alex and Jordan navigated their new rhythm. Dates at hole-in-the-wall Ticarius, weekends in the Catskills, arguments that ended in laughter. Prejudices lingered. Jordan's family visits tense with unspoken grief. Alex's calls home, laced with cautious hope. Friendships evolved. Theo became an ally, co-designing the tour. Riley directed a workshop production. Misunderstandings arose, a jealous castmate's rumor, a misinterpreted text, but they faced them head-on, scripts rewritten in real time. One spring evening, atop that same rooftop where the poster might have been shot, Alex proposed a sequel, not to the play, but to them. Marry the mess, he said, rings simple as a cue light. Jordan, ever the skeptic, grinned through tears. I don't believe in forever, but I believe in us. The city sprawled below, alive with possibility. In the end, love wasn't a belief or a leap. It was the story they kept telling, page by unflinching page. The afterglow of opening night lingered like stage fog, but reality's houselights snapped on cruelly fast. By week 2, Echoes in the Attic was the talk of the queer theater circuit, lines wrapping around the block from Washington Square to the theater's unassuming facade. Critics raved, a poignant gut punch to complacency, one Village Voice scribe penned, while social media buzzed with hashtags, Echoes Truth, Queer Hearts Break. Alex rode the wave, signing programs with a flourish he didn't feel, his smile a practiced mask. Jordan, ever the showman, fielded interviews with charisma that bordered on deflection, steering questions from the play's personal edges back to craft. But privately, the kiss in the alcove replayed in Alex's mind, a spark that promised fire, yet left him waiting for the burn. Their first real date came mid-run, a deliberate pivot from post-show drinks to something intentional. Jordan suggested the High Line, that elevated ribbon of green slicing through Chelsea's galleries and grit. Neutral ground, he quipped over text, adding a winking emoji that eased Alex's nerves. Dusk painted the tracks in lavender as they strolled, hips brushing occasionally, the city hum a distant underscore. Jordan bought them hot cider from a cart, steam curling like secrets. To not screwing this up, he toasted, clinking plastic cups. Alex laughed, the sound genuine for the first time in days. They talked easy, favorite flops, Rent for nostalgia, Jordan confessed. Angels in America for ambition, Alex countered, sidestepping the heavy until the railings gave way to wildflower meadows. There, under a canopy of twining vines, Jordan stopped. About the other night. His voice trailed, vulnerability cracking his director's poise. Alex's heart thudded. It was right, he said firmly. Scary but right. Jordan's nod was slow, then he closed the gap, lips meeting soft and sure. No audience, no applause, just the rustle of leaves and the steady thrum of connection. They broke apart breathless, foreheads touching. One day at a time, Jordan murmured. Alex agreed, though doubt whispered. How many days before the curtain call? Backstage life intensified the test. The cast gelled into a found family, brunches at Lena's becoming ritual, pancakes stacked high, mimosas spiked with inside jokes. Riley thrived as Eli's sister, their post-show meet and greets drawing trans youth like moths to a marquee. "You're giving them language," Alex told them one Sunday, plates balanced on knees in a sun-dappled park. Riley's eyes misted. "Nah, you are. This play? It's permission." But fractures showed. Marcus, post-confession, sulked in corners, his ad-lib apology accepted but trust slow to rebuild. Theo, redeemed through set tweaks that wowed reviewers, lingered too close sometimes, his touches brotherly, yet loaded with history. Jordan noticed, of course, during a matinee interval. As Alex adjusted his mic pack in the dressing room mirror, Jordan slipped in, door clicking shut. "Theo's hovering," he said, arms crossing like a prompt note. Alex turned, meeting his gaze in the glass. "He's a friend." Past tense. Jordan's jaw tightened. Friends don't look at you like unfinished business. Jealousy, raw and unscripted, hung between them. Alex stepped closer. "And you?" Collecting doubts like bad reviews. The barb landed. Jordan winced. "Fair. I'm new at this. Believing." They reconciled with a quick kiss, makeup smudging, but the seed of insecurity took root. External pressures mounted. The foundation, post-email fiasco, demanded sensitivity tweaks, a consultant to vet dialogue for potential triggers. Jordan balked in meetings, his Bronx edge sharpening. "This isn't censorship, it's surgery without anesthesia." Alex mediated, ever the peacemaker, but fatigue crept in. Late nights bled into dawn rewrites. Their apartment, Jordan's, now shared in tentative shifts, littered with highlighters and half-eaten bagels. One such evening, as thunder rumbled over the river, Alex voiced the unspoken. "Are we writing us into this? Eli's fights feel too familiar." Jordan paused, pen hovering. "Maybe, but endings don't have to echo openings." His hand covered Alex's, steadying. Yet misunderstandings brewed like storm clouds. A cast party at a Soho loft turned revelry to reckoning when Lena, tipsy on sangria, cornered Alex. "Jordan's intense because he's scared," she slurred, her film school poise frayed. "Last time he fell hard. It ended in flames. Guy bailed when fame hit." Alex's stomach knotted. He'd glimpsed Jordan's walls, but not the blueprints. "Why tell me?" Lena shrugged. "So you don't bolt first." The warning echoed as Jordan found him later, flushed from dancing. "Everything?" he asked, reading Alex's face. A nod, then honesty. "Lena shared your history." Jordan deflated. "Ghosts. But you're not them." They left early, cab ride silent, home dissolving into tangled sheets. Not passion's blaze, but comfort's quiet anchor. Winter descended, blanketing the city in hush. Echoes extended, holiday crowds swelling houses. Alex's family called from Ohio, voices crackling with forced cheer. "Proud of you, son," his father said, the words stiff as starch. His mother added, "Just be safe up there." The subtext, "From them, from yourself," stung fresh. He confided in Jordan over cocoa in bed, city snow muffling the world. "They love me, but it's conditional." Jordan pulled him close. "Mine too. Ma prays for my prodigal return. But we're writing our own gospel." The shared ache bonded them, prejudices no longer solitary burdens. But climax loomed offstage. February brought a film scout sniffing around, a streaming giant eyeing adaptation. Jordan buzzed with vision. Big screen, bigger impact. Alex hesitated. Exposure meant scrutiny, his Ohio roots a ticking bomb. What if it drags our dirt public? Jordan's enthusiasm dimmed. "Art's risk. You in?" The question tested, belief versus fear. Alex nodded, but nights grew restless, dreams of slurs scrawled on playbills. The breaking point came during a snowstorm shutdown. Theater dark, cast snowed in at Lena's for an impromptu read-through of the film version. Wine loosened lips. Theo, ever the artist, sketched set concepts, his proximity to Alex drawing Jordan's side-eye. When Theo draped an arm casually, laughing at a line, Jordan excused himself abruptly. Alex followed to the balcony, flurries whipping. "Talk to me," he urged. Jordan's back was rigid. "It's nothing." "Lie." "Everything." Alex pressed. "You're pulling away." Jordan whirled. "Because every time I look, he's there. Your past. Haunting." Hurt flared. "And you're projecting yours." Lena, the exes. Trust me or don't. Words escalated, snow-swallowing shouts. Jordan stormed inside. Alex stayed, frozen, realizing love's conflicts weren't scripted, they improvised. Reconciliation brewed slow. Days of texts, terse, then Tinder, culminated in a bridge walk, snow-crusted cables gleaming. Jordan waited, thermos steaming. I panicked, he admitted. Believing in us means losing control. Alex thawed, then direct less. Feel more. They kissed amid flakes, renewal crisp as fresh pages. Spring thawed the rifts. The film deal signed, pre-production humming. Friendships solidified. Marcus directed a short, crediting Echoes. Riley launched a youth workshop. Alex's family visited, awkward dinners evolving to tentative pride. Jordan's ma sent tamales, a silent olive branch. Yet surprises lingered. One June dawn, a tabloid blurb. Off-Broadway power couple, director and playwright's steamy affair. Paparazzi shots from the High Line, blurred but unmistakable. Outrage mixed with thrill, queer visibility, weaponized. Jordan laughed it off publicly, privately. He held Alex tighter. Our story now, he said. Let them watch. In the hush of their rooftop, city pulsing below, Alex traced Jordan's palm. Scarier than I thought. Jordan smiled, that skeptical curve softening. Good. Means it's real. Summer sizzled into the city, turning concrete to griddles and rehearsals to sweat-soaked marathons. Pre-production for the Echoes film adaptation kicked into gear, Jordan helming the vision with a fervor that bordered on obsession. Casting calls filled hotel conference rooms in Midtown, actors trooping in with headshots crisp as new scripts. Alex sat in on sessions, his input gold. Eli's soul, after all, but the scale awed and unnerved him. This is Hollywood light, Jordan joked during a break, wiping brow with a sleeve. No capes, just capes of invisibility. Alex chuckled, but the quip landed heavy. Streaming giants promised reach, but at what cost to the intimacy that made the play pulse? They'd settled into a rhythm. Jordan's Williamsburg walk-up now theirs, with Alex's bookshelves crowding corners and a shared coffee pot gurgling mornings. Domesticity suited them, lazy brunches on the fire escape, debating plot twists over eggs. But fame's undercurrent tugged. Fan mail piled. Letters from rural queers echoing Eli's isolation, drawings of the lovers in tender clinches. Alex read them aloud evenings, voice-catching. We're touching lives, he'd say, wonder softening his edges. Jordan nodded, but his eyes shadowed. And exposing nerves. Riley noticed first, cornering Alex at a cast reunion picnic in Prospect Park, frisbees sailing like errant cues. You're glowing, but he's flickering. They observed, skewering a veggie kebab. Alex sighed, grass tickling ankles. The film's amplifying everything, good, bad. Riley's gaze sharpened. Talk it out. Before it becomes Act 2. Wise as ever, their bond a lifeline. Later, Alex broached it with Jordan over gelato in the village, cones dripping like melting resolve. You're distant. Film stress. Jordan licked his spoon, evasive. Just gears turning. Lie. Alex pressed gently. Or us, under the spotlight. Jordan relented, vulnerability surfacing. Yeah. What if I can't protect this, you, from the machine? Alex squeezed his knee under the table. We protect together. Conflicts escalated subtly. Lena, hired as associate producer, clashed with studio execs over marketable changes, softened the slurs, streamlined the family arc. It's not a Hallmark special, she argued in Zoom calls, her feed glitching like frayed nerves. Jordan backed her fiercely, but Alex sensed his strain, late nights pacing with phone glued to ear. One such evening, Alex found him slumped on the couch, laptop glowing accusations, leaked script pages online, twisted by trolls into woke propaganda. They're gutting us, Jordan muttered. Alex knelt, hands on knees. Not yet. Fight smart. Solidarity sparked intimacy, their lovemaking a reclaiming, slow, affirming, bodies mapping trust. But surprises struck sharp. Theo, now deep in set design, unveiled concept art. Eli's attic reimagined as a Brooklyn brownstone, windows framing pride flags. Stunning, personal. Too personal? Jordan's praise soured private. Echoes of your history. He grumbled post-meeting, traffic honking below. Alex bristled. or echoes of the play. Let it go. The exchange festered, a minor key in their symphony. Marcus, redeemed, pitched a podcast tie-in. Interviews with queer creators. Riley jumped in, their enthusiasm infectious. The group reconvened, brainstorming over beers at a dive near the studio, laughter healing old wounds. We're a troupe, Theo toasted. Messy but mighty. Jordan raised his glass, but his free hand found Alex's under the table, anchor. Prejudices resurfaced in waves. Alex's sister, visiting from Ohio, arrived wide-eyed at a table red, her conservative bob clashing with the room's rainbow pins. It's bold, she said post-scene, voice thin. Dinner that night, at a cozy bistro, turned tense. Her questions probing. Is this you, all of it? Met Jordan's charm masking edge. Alex mediated, heart aching for her growth slowness. It's art, sis. Mirrors, not mandates. She softened over tiramisu, hugging tight. Love you. Even the parts one don't get. Progress, bittersweet. Jordan's family loomed larger. His ma, Rosa, flew in for a weekend, her bodega apron swapped for a Mets jersey. Tacos sizzled in the kitchen, sense evoking Jordan's youth. You direct my boy good, she told Alex, eyes twinkling over chopping board. But prayers whispered before meals carried weight, for guidance, for peace. Jordan tensed, fork scraping plate. Later, alone, he confessed. She means well, but it's chains. Alex held him. Break, gentle. We're free now. The visit ended with promises. More calls, less saints. But the undercurrent lingered, a quiet conflict. Climax brewed in the edit bay. A rough cut screened for test audiences, feedback slicing. Too preachy. Studio suits pushed reshoots. Eli's rage dialed back, lover's prejudice nuanced to ambiguity. Jordan exploded in the conference room, voice booming. This guts the heart. Alex, beside, urged calm. Compromise without selling out. Post-meeting, in the elevator's hum, Jordan rounded. You're folding. Hurt flared. Surviving. For the message. The ride down mirrored their spiral, doors opening to street chaos. Cool-off came at Riley's urging. A retreat to Fire Island. The cast decamping for a weekend of beach reads and bonfires. Waves crashed like applause, sands warm underfoot. Jordan and Alex walked dunes at dawn, gulls crying overhead. I overreacted, Jordan admitted, shells crunching. Fear talking. Alex linked arms. Me too. Team us. Reconnection bloomed. Kisses salted by sea, bodies entwined under stars. The group shared stories round flames. Lena's first crush, a girl in Catholic school. Marcus's coming out comedy gone wrong. Laughter knit them tighter, prejudices aired like laundry. Return invigorated, but tension simmered. A preview screening invited influencers, the Q&A electric. A heckler rose, glorifies trauma porn. Voice slicing silence. Jordan fielded coolly. Trauma's real, so's triumph. Alex added, it's invitation, not indictment. Applause drowned dissent, but backstage, adrenaline crashed. Jordan pulled Alex into a prop closet, kissed desperate. We did that. Unity, forged in fire. Yet high came with drop. Paparazzi hounded. A blurry beach shot fueling throuple rumors with Theo. Tabloids twisted. Playwrights tangled loves. Jordan laughed publicly, privately, fury. They're devouring us. Alex soothed. Fuel for the fight. But doubt crept. Was exposure eroding their core? Fall preview loomed, leaves turning. A family dinner. Alex's parents, Jordan's ma, tested waters. Awkward toasts, stilted small talk, but shared pie thawed ice. You're good for him. Alex's dad grunted to Jordan. Rosa nodded, and vice versa. Small victories, building. In the edit's final push, compromise won, slurs intact, art preserved. Trailer dropped, views exploding. Jordan and Alex celebrated rooftop, city aglow. To leaps, Jordan toasted. Alex clinked, and landings. But whispers hinted more. A rival director poaching cast, whispers of sabotage. Conflict's shadow lengthened, surprises waiting in wings. Autumn's palette deepened, golds bleeding to crimson as the film's promotional blitz ignited. Billboards bloomed across Times Square. Eli's silhouette against skyline. Tagline. Some echoes heal. Others haunt. Alex stared up one crisp evening, Jordan's arm around his waist, the crowd's murmur a tide. Our ghost, Jordan murmured, pride laced with possession. Alex leaned in, the city's pulse syncing with his own. But beneath the glamour, fault lines quivered. The rival rumors solidified. A flashy upstart, Victor Kane, luring Marcus with promises of a lead in his edgier, queer thriller. He's poaching talent. Jordan fumed over takeout, chopsticks snapping like tension. Alex played devil's advocate. Ambition's not betrayal. Jordan's eyes narrowed. Easy for you. You're the source material. The slight stung, unintended perhaps, but it widened the rift. Alex retreated to the high line alone that weekend, paths crunching underfoot, thoughts swirling like wind-tossed leaves. Was he just the muse, the plot device Jordan directed? Riley met him at a bench, thermos of tea steaming solidarity. He's projecting again, they diagnosed, steam fogging glasses. Victor's his ghost, stole his first big break years back. Alex exhaled. So I fight shadows. Riley grinned. Nah, shine light. You're the writer. Rewrite the narrative. Wisdom, as always, cutting through fog. Confrontation came post-gala, a glitzy affair at Lincoln Center where Echoes snagged early buzz awards. Champagne fizzed, gowns swirled, Jordan schmoozing suits with effortless grace. Alex mingled, charming producers, but Theo's arrival, +1 to Lena, drew eyes. Laughter shared over canapes, innocent, but Jordan's gaze from across the room smoldered. Cab ride home, silence thick. What? Alex finally snapped, city light streaking. Jordan's jaw clenched. You and Theo cozy. Alex's temper flared. Jealousy's beneath you. Jordan recoiled as if slapped. And dismissal's beneath us. Home dissolved into cold shoulders, bed vast as an empty stage. Morning brought mediation. Lena, neutral ground at her loft, coffee brewing immense. Victor's circling because he sees gold, she explained, pouring. But Jordan's blind to his own shine, yours included. Alex nodded, guilt gnawing. I dismissed his fear. Lena's smile was knowing. We all do till it bites. Call to Jordan. Highline? Neutral? Reply. Sunset. Paths converged at the railings, apologies tumbling like coins. I see threats everywhere. Jordan confessed, hands gripping iron. Lost too much before. Alex covered them. I'm not lost. I'm here. Kiss sealed, sunset gilding forgiveness. But external storms gathered. Victor's poach succeeded. Marcus bolted, citing creative freedom. Rehearsals scrambled, understudy thrust on stage, chemistry fracturing. Jordan's frustration boiled in note sessions, voice cracking like thunder. Feel it, damn it. The cast wilted. Riley pulled him aside post-run. Ease up. We're human, not holograms. Alex echoed privately, bedroom dim. You're breaking them, and us. Jordan deflated. I know. Just. The film's my shot. Our shot. Alex softened. Then let's build, not burn. Strategy sessions followed, recasts auditioned, morale rallied with team building at a bowling alley, gutter balls and groans forging levity. Prejudices intruded anew. Jordan's cousin, visiting from the Bronx, crashed a dinner, macho posturing masking curiosity. Heard you're the gay director, he ribbed, beer and fist. Jordan tensed. Alex diffused with humor. And he's the straight man in this comedy. Laughter eased, but later, Jordan vented. Family's progress is 2 steps forward, 1 slur back. Alex held space. Worth it, for the steps. Rosa called too, her voice warm but probing. That boy good to you? Jordan assured, but hung up heavy. She worries, old fears. Alex countered. Let her see the joy. Surprises twisted sharp. A leaked demo clip, Victor's teaser, mirrored Echo's beats too closely. Attic secrets, lover's betrayal. Plagiarism whispers erupted online, forums ablaze. Jordan lawyered up, fury incandescent. He's stealing our soul. Alex urged caution. Proof first. Investigations dragged, stress etching lines. One night, pacing the living room, Jordan shattered. What if we lose it all? Alex pulled him down, embrace fierce. We lose nothing. The story's ours, ink or not. Vulnerability bridged, night turning tender. Riley's workshop ballooned parallel. Youth productions of Echoes excerpts drawing crowds. Alex guest directed a session, Kids' raw monologues piercing. A teen's closet confession, another's family fracture. This heals, one whispered post-show. Alex teared up, texting Jordan, "Your belief started this." Reply, "Our belief." Climax crested at the premiere preview, a private screening in a Tribeca penthouse. Suits mingled, champagne chilled. Lights dimmed. The film unfolded. Nuances captured, heart intact. Gasps at the betrayal, sniffles at reconciliation. Q&A hummed. Victor absent, but shadow long. Post-screen, a producer pulled Jordan. Greenlight sequel. Elation surged, but backstage, a note slipped under door. "Nice try. But real art bleeds. Yours just bruises." V. Accusations blade. Jordan crumpled it. "Eyes steel. Game on." Alex steadied. "Ours." Fall deepened, leaves carpeting paths. A family fusion dinner. Alex's folks, Rosa, even Jordan's cousin, teetered then triumphed. Stories swapped, barriers bending. To chosen and blood, Alex toasted. Glasses chimed, hope resonant. In quiet moments, rooftop stargazing, Jordan traced constellations. "Scary, this forever feel." Alex smiled. "Good scary." Leap affirmed. Yet Victor's shadow loomed, conflicts act unresolved. November's chill nipped at heels, frost etching windows as the lawsuit against Victor Kane lumbered forward. Depositions in glass towers, lawyers parsing emails like script notes. Evidence mounted, Victor's inspiration smelling of theft. Jordan threw into directing the reshoots, his focus laser sharp, but Alex saw the toll. Skipped meals, sleep fractured by what-ifs. "He's winning without swinging." Jordan muttered one dawn, coffee bitter. Alex brewed fresh. "No, we're armoring up. Solidarity, they're constant." The cast rallied, morale a bonfire against wind. Theo's sets shimmered under new lights, Lena's cuts polishing rough edges. Riley hosted war council potlucks, laughter weaponizing resolve. Marcus, contrite, sent apology flowers. Misstep, not malice, welcomed back tentatively. Redemption arcs real, he quipped at first bite. Group chuckled, healing hashed. Personal tides turned gentle. Alex's parents returned, touring the set, wide eyes at queer crew's casual spectrum. His dad, toolbox in tow, fixed a wobbly prop table. "Like home repairs," he grunted. Metaphor unintended but apartment dinner after. Rosa's posel steaming, stories bridge divides. Jordan's ma sharing migration tales. Alex's folks nodding to farm hardships. "Pain's universal," Rosa said, ladle pausing. "Love, the fixer." Tears pricked, progress, plated. But misunderstandings multiplied. A joint interview, variety spread, cozy couch, turned probing. How much is autobiographical? Alex deflected light. Jordan dove deep, outing family phrase. Clippings hit Ohio, backlash brewing, sisters call frantic. They blame the film. Alex's voice cracked. "Blame me." Jordan, guilt-ridden, overcompensated. Grand gestures, surprise weekend in the Hamptons. Waves lapped, bonfire crackled, but confession spilled. "I dragged you public." Alex kissed salt from lips. "Chose it. Us." Surprise detonated mid-December. Victor countersued, claiming defamation, his thriller greenlit by a rival streamer. Headlines screamed, "Queer cinema civil war." Trolls swarmed socials, slurs slicing feeds. Jordan unplugged, retreating to the bridge, solitary walks turning duo. "They're us, amplified ugly," he said, railing cold underhand. Alex leaned close. Then Amplify Beauty. Podcast with Riley launched counter-narrative. Creator spotlights, resilience riffs. Listeners surged, support swelling. Prejudices peaked familial. Jordan's cousin, post-dinner thaw, outed accidentally at work. Backlash swift, calls pleading. "Your fault," he accused Jordan. Fracture reopened. Alex mediated over beers in the Bronx, streets echoing youth. Blames chain, Alex urged. "Break it." Cousin softened, hug gruff. "You're all right, city boy." Climax crashed New Year's Eve, premiere gala at the Paris Theater. Red carpet dazzle, flashes blinding. Inside, film mesmerized, standing ovation thunderous. After party swirled, Victor's absence of void filled by toasts. But midway, a producer pulled Jordan. Settlement offer. Drop suit, he pulls his. Temptation flickered. Alex's hand steadied. No, justice, not quiet. Fireworks burst over the plaza as they slipped out, crowd roaring. To echoes that endure, Jordan whispered. Kiss amid bursts, resolve lit. Winter waned, suit resolving. Victor's film shelved, apology buried in fine print. Victory quiet, but theirs. Friendships flowered. Theo's exhibit of Echo's art. Riley's book deal on queer theater. Spring bloomed, sequel greenlit. Rooftop proposal redux. Marry the story? Jordan knelt, rings simple. Alex, yes. Tears, joy. Scarier? Yes. Better? Infinitely. The ink dried on the settlement, but adrenaline's aftertaste lingered like cheap Merlot. January thawed into February's false spring, the city sloughing slush for tentative buds. Echoes streamed globally, metrics exploding, queer households tuning in, forums dissecting every frame. Fan theories proliferated. Eli's attic equals Jordan's childhood. Alex scrolled bemused, Jordan deleting vitriol with mechanical clicks. Metrics don't measure mess, he said, screen glowing blue on his face. Alex pulled him to bed. Our mess thrives. Domestic deepened, shared lease signed, walls painted sage, neutral ground for nested dreams. Mornings, coffee rituals evolved. Jordan's splash of oat milk, Alex's double shot. Arguments spiced, minor. Jordan's socks trails, Alex's script hoarding. Resolutions tinder, makeup's art form. You're my best rewrite. Jordan quipped post spat, laundry folding truce. Cast kinships blossomed. Lena's short film premiered at Berlinale, Echoes nodding credits. Team screening, cheers raucous. Riley's workshop scaled, national tour budding. Alex keynote opening, youth eyes alight. Your words, their wings, Riley texted post. Marcus redeemed fully, co-hosting the podcast, episodes raw, listeners healing. Theo's gallery show, Attic Visions, sold out. Jordan bought the centerpiece, attic diorama glowing. Full circle, he told Alex, hanging at home. Family fronts advanced uneven. Alex's folks hosted Easter, ham-glazed, awkward jokes thawing to questions. That Jordan serious? Alex nodded, pride swelling. His dad's Pat. Treat him right. Like kin. Rosa visited often. Tamale's legacy, prayers evolving. Bless your path, Mijo. Jordan's cousin joined Pride Prep, signs scrawled defiant. Prejudices persisted. Whispers at reunions, sidelong glances, but dialogues chipped stone. Surprises sprinkled joy. Sequel script outline. Eli post-reckoning, navigating fame's fallout. Studio buzzed. Jordan directed, Alex penned. Brainstorms late, laughter lines etching. One evening, draft read aloud. Jordan paused mid-scene. This Eli, he's us, older. Alex smiled. Wiser, hopefully. Misunderstanding minor, tabloid redux. Breakup buzz, from a blurry argument snap. Damage control laughable, joint post. Bridge selfie, caption plot twist, still us. Fans rallied, memes merciful. Climax personal, wedding plans whispered, elopement, itch versus spectacle. Small, Alex urged. Our stage. Jordan agreed, venue hunt. Central Park gazebo, spring cherry. Invites hand-scrawled. Cast core, families bridging. Vows exchanged under blooms, Riley officiating. Voice steady, eyes mist. In echoes, you found harmony. Rings exchanged, simple bands etched leap. Reception picnic, blankets spread, toasts tumbling. Lena's ribald, Theo's poetic, Rosa's heartfelt. Dance under lanterns, Jordan twirling Alex. Believed in you first. Alex, scarier, better. Honeymoon Hamptons, waves witness. Nights starlit, days wandered, stories swapped, futures sketched. Kids, Jordan mused, sand sifting. Alex, someday. Surrogates, stories. Laughter sealed. Return, sequel filming. Sets alive, chemistry cinematic. Conflicts cameo. Exec notes nitpicking, but united front prevailed. Years blurred. Echoes franchise, books birthed. Jordan Broadway bound, Alex novels lauded. Family grew, adopted niece, Pride Parade's annual. Rooftop, silvered hair, city eternal, still scary. Jordan asked, Alex, still you? Kiss, timeless.